and it all starts with Kelee Ringo. So I got to ask you, first of all, because we've talked about Ringo
a couple
a
times.
little bit so far. What did you think about his Ohio State tape? Because I don't know what his percentage was covering Marvin Harrison, but Marvin Harrison was eating up Georgia, and Ohio State might have won that football game had Georgia knocked him out. So what did you think about Ringo in that game and overall the last few games you've seen him?
In that game alone, so let's also keep in mind Marvin Harrison is the best wide receiver in college football.
Sure.
He's not draft eligible, so and even considering that, I thought he did a fine job against him. The touchdown that he allowed was a little bit of a broken play, meaning if you watch the snap from the All-22, I thought Ringo beat him initially, but because Stroud rolled out to the right, and that's always a tough assignment for a corner. Like, you can't expect these guys, especially Harrison, to cover him more than 3 to 4 seconds. It's just not realistic to ask that question. It's not fair either. But he really technically was targeted only 2 times, and so you have to go back and really look at the tape from the right angle, right? The broadcast angle is not going to do it for you. I thought he was awesome in coverage for more than the majority of the game, almost the entire game. His bad snaps, they just simply got exposed on national television. And I was on Twitter that night and said, I told you Ringo can't cover. It's just it's really hard to evaluate defensive back play from the broadcast angle. There are certain things you can evaluate, absolutely. But if you're trying to get a feel for what you just said, how did he play in that game, you need the all-22 angle. And I thought he played at a really high level. I saw exactly what I wanted to. He's 6'2", 210, but he moves like he's 5'8", 185. When it was just in the short areas, the ability to change direction, play balance, maintain his body control. Those are all really tough traits to play with when you're that big. I mean, he's got the size of a safety. This cornerback class in general is enormous, especially at the top. But yeah, I mean, I think Ringo's going to come into the NFL with probably the best blend of tools. But I think he's also going to come into the league with saying, "Hey, we have a lot to work on." Because he got penalized a lot. He got penalized a lot. He gets a little grabby. It almost seems like he's not completely confident in himself yet. He gets a little too grabby. He doesn't play the game with his feet, even though his feet are good enough, right? I don't know if he completely knows how to use that size and that length yet. It's one thing to have it, but you need to know how to use it correctly. So, he's going to stay as my number 1 corner. I don't see it changing between now and the draft. But he's not Sauce Gardner. Let's not put that expectation on him.
Where would he have been taken in last year's draft?
I think he would have been after Stingley and Gardner for sure.
Where about?
I would say in the middle of the first round.
Okay. But this draft, you think top 10?
I do think top 10 of this draft.
Okay.
I do. Because there is no Stingley, love him or hate him, whether you think he did great or not in his first year. As a prospect, I had him graded as a top 5 player. I don't regret that at all. I would still do it again right now. I don't think Ringo would have been graded above him.